come out to my local woods. It's a lovely crisp January day. I brought my sketching easel with me and a tripod, so I thought I'd take a little walk and see if I can find something to paint. I just walked through the trees there and saw this pond, which is usually just covered with algae, but we've had a huge amount of rain the last week, and this seems to have washed that all away, and it's exposed those lovely reflections. I think it'd be a missed opportunity if I didn't at least try and get a sketch of this. And it seems like the storm last week's also has taken a few trees down. Slightly worrying, but it's quite a still day, so it should be okay. As I started to set up, it actually started to snow. It did actually come down quite heavy at one point. I thought I was going to have to head home, but it cleared, so glad I stuck it out. It's actually turned out to be quite a nice day. Pretty cold though, so I do need the gloves and the hat. Okay, just start by laying out some burnt sienna and some olive green. It's water mixable oil paint. It's made by Winsor and Newton. It's perfect for this kind of thing. And it's too cold for watercolour. This is a scene I'm going to have a go at sketching. It's quite symmetrical really, so I'll stick with the two large trees on the left and simplify it on the right hand side. And there's a small thumbnail sketch that I did. You can see I've just left the one main tree on the right. Probably add some of the smaller ones later. And just start by mixing some of that together. It can actually make quite a strong dark if you get the proportions right. But it makes kind of like quite a pleasing sepia tone. Just come in there with the inch bristle brush. That's just mixed with some water there just to thin the paint out a little bit. And just start by laying in those large shapes. It doesn't matter at this point, you can just sketch it in very loosely. I'm going to come back in with some paper towel and move everything about and soften all the edges, but it's just to get the rough composition down. It's just the water line there, and just bring that down roughly where the reflections are going to be. One of those large trees in, just bring that straight down, and another one. Just mark out roughly where the reflection's going to be. Just put in some of the distant trees there. And like I said, it's just sketching out where everything's going to be at the moment. You'll see it can all be softened later. Put one of the trees in on the right. Again, just roughly mark out where the reflections will be. Two posts there on the right hand side. I'm just going to grab some paper towel and just dip that in some water, and then just use that to move all the paint around, Just kind of rub it into the board. It's just a piece of hardboard that's got 3 coats of gesso on it. Okay, just soften everything there and just rub it in all over really for the sky. And you'll see in a minute that you can lift out. That's the good thing about the oil paint, is that you're not actually tied down to any decisions. You can change everything as you go. Okay, back in with a small flat brush. Just going to re-establish those trees. Okay, just mark out again where that water line's going to be. You can see by adding some darks, it's actually added some distance. Nice to come out into the woods and do this kind of painting. It's just painting from life. I mean, it's just sketching really. Should be able to get something that I can work from later at home. Okay, back in with some paper towel. Again, just dipped in some water. Lift out some more light and just leave the shape of those distant trees behind. And just reflect some of that light on the water. Just soften some more of those edges. Bring that sky area down just to meet those bushes that are behind the large trees. And that's using the corner of a piece of paper towel just to get a sharper line. Just give the impression that maybe there's some kind of ripple on the water reflecting the light. Painting like this using the 2 colours well mixed together, it's kind of almost like painting in one colour, and it's essentially it's just a value study. So you have to concentrate on getting your lights and darks right. Essentially, darker in the foreground, lighter in the distance, and you can still achieve a certain amount of perspective. And just re-establish the waterline there, and then just added reflection of those fence posts, and then bring the reflection straight down for that smaller tree. And switch to the rigger brush. Just going to add a few branches and twigs. Not going to add every branch, obviously it's way too much, but just for a sketch I'll just add a few. Suggest a few smaller trees. And just soften that with the paper towel. Bring some rough reflections down for those. It doesn't have to be too defined. Just a couple more small branches. Just going to add one of those smaller trees there on the right hand side. Just keep it slightly lighter in tone, just so it doesn't compete with everything else. I don't want it to look symmetrical, like kind of like it's bookended. And just a few more on the right there. Very loose strokes, dry brush technique really. And just quickly re-establish those fence posts. And to just slightly darken that right hand tree. Just pull some reflections straight down, dry brush again. Just a suggestion of a few grasses. Some more reflections. And just darken that water's edge a little bit more. See, just darkening that edge instantly acts to push everything else back, so it's added even more sense of depth. Now just break up that line. You don't really want too many hard edges. Now just use the palette knife there to scratch a few highlights in. Okay, maybe just add a bit of a waterline. Might have done a bit too much then, I just have to soften that up a touch. Just switch back to the brush and just soften some of that. Back in with a paper towel, just add a bit more light on the water. Just cut that across the reflections. Again, it's the great thing about working with oils like this outdoors is that it doesn't dry on you, so you have plenty of time to make adjustments. Just use the very tip of the paper towel there just to add a bit of texture. Again on that bank, just lifting bits out and scrubbing it around, essentially just create random bits of texture. Soften any hard edges. I've lost that reflection a bit, so I think I'll just very lightly put that back in. some of that edge down just for a few extra little reflections. There's just a few more dark areas, suggest some of those grasses again. Go back to the rigger, just a few more branches on the trees. Just soften some of that up again with the paper towel. Okay, I think we're reaching the end. Well, it's nice to get out and bring the paints and do some painting on location. And if it is just a simple sketch really, but I can work that up into a painting back at home. And please give the video a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and do send some comments. Always nice to hear from everybody. I'll see you in the next one.